Well, we're using proteomic approaches to look at the levels of proteins that are expressed in the cerebral spinal fluid of patients with progressive supranuclear palsy versus patients with Parkinson's disease versus normal controls, with the hope of finding proteins that are either up in PSP compared to Parkinson's disease or controls, or down, that can eventually use to develop biomarkers to monitor and help in the diagnosis of progressive supranuclear palsy. I became interested in Parkinson's disease and progressive supranuclear palsy when I was a neurology resident in my training. And I'm currently the director of the Parkinson's Disease Center at Hopkins. And we recruited a new faculty member, Alex Pantalyet, who was very interested in progressive supranuclear palsy. And so we teamed up together to see whether we could find diagnostic markers that could help distinguish between Parkinson's disease and progressive supranuclear palsy. Yeah, as you know, it's very difficult to distinguish early Parkinson's disease from early progressive supranuclear palsy. It's very clinically challenging to distinguish the two disorders. So if we had a test that you could obtain from cerebral spinal fluid, or if it could be eventually made so it was a blood test, you might have a much easier way to distinguish the two. And this is going to become very important as therapies for Parkinson's disease versus progressive supranuclear palsy become available. So the research we're doing is going to help researchers by, one, providing well-characterized biospecimens. And as part of our research, we will be depositing all our raw data so that anyone in the scientific community can download the data and analyze it themselves, and they may be able to uncover things that we weren't able to uncover. Well, you know, that's a big question. We hope that we'll be able to discover, you know, several biomarkers that can be used in the diagnosis of progressive supranuclear palsy, or allow us to monitor the progression. And if we're successful, it will enable clinicians to have a reliable way to diagnose PSP. So when the day comes when there's effective therapies for PSP, we'll be able to start it earlier and get patients on the road to a better treatment faster. So this is a biomarker project that's based on proteomics. And we can still only sample about 1/3 of all the proteins. The technology's not quite as sensitive as we would like it. Where I would love the research to go is so that we can sample all the protein. And then once we're at that point, then we'll be able to make even stronger inroads into biomarker analysis.